So next sign is Gemini. Well, yes, it can be known as the twins, but it's actually originally depicted as a man pointing anatomical left, and then on the opposing side is the woman pointing to the anatomical right, and they're kind of like doing what is that Dragon Ball Z character? Trunks' son and I can't remember, but Trunks' son and well, any idea like when they join together like that, that's like a union, like unionship. That's kind of really what Gemini is it isn't really fulfilled by calling it just the twins. And Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and the Gemini energy is very whimsical, extremely playful, all over the place, and has kind of the communication style that's kind of like everyday gossip and pretty much when you're talking about stuff that's kind of like, okay, I kind of don't care what Stacy's mom did last night, but I heard she's got it going on, kind of like that. Gemini also is moving or doing any kind of physical activity with immense haste to it. So say like a yard dash, and trying to run as fast as you can and get it done as fast as possible. That could be Gemini. But also Gemini is the first mutable sign, and depending on if it's more closer to if it's getting closer to say like Cancer, or if it's getting more if it's kind of more towards the Taurus side, depending on where a planet is placed within Gemini, it can make it be a little bit more nurturing, or it can be a little bit like, I'm going to be more fixated, because the mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, depending on how close they are to the middle or to the other opposing sign on the sides, influences them. They are very adaptable, and they adapt to situations very well. Gemini also controls the hands, the hands, and the shoulders and lungs. And also, Gemini is pretty much your everyday skills, efforts, hobbies, and pretty much what you like to do on a daily basis for entertainments, and is also the sign about efforts. And also, Gemini, while people say that they're two-faced, well, they're not really two-faced. It's just that they're able to go from one situation and then adapt quickly to another, and then go back to the first, and then go to a different one, then come back to the second, and just be all over the place. They can adapt, but they usually don't have a strong excel point. And Gemini is obviously an air sign, and usually when a planet gets into the sign of Gemini, usually that planet becomes very whimsical and all over the place. Planets such as, say, Moon, she needs stability, and her being in Mercury sign of Gemini, she's being blown all over the place, and she has no stability. But now if you, say, take one of Mercury's natural friends, Saturn, you put him in Gemini, even though it's a friendly sign, Saturn is not going to be really fond of trying to go from one point to another quick, because that'll break his hip. As well, Gemini is also a very nasty sign, if you catch my drift. It's very active in that regard, because it's two people coming in union that way, yeah. when it comes to stones, in my opinion, I would have to give it to green citrine, because Gemini, being usually for having kind of a greenish tone color, in my opinion, but not like, this wouldn't be as like Virgo, because Virgo would be more of like a kind of a darker green, in my opinion. Jade's another one. And because since Mercury is a planet that is like a chameleon and he can pretty much adapt to anything, obviously a clear quartz, because these little guys can be programmed to do whatever you deem fit. Usually, another thing that Geminis have to kind of be kind of careful of is if they're too all over the place, they can kind of lose track. And also, Gemini, I'm not saying this to be bagging now, because that's not the point. I'm just saying it for how it is. Geminis do have a tendency to get distracted a little too easy. And it's also the original third house. And the third house as well is your short distance travel, interactions with neighbors, siblings, aunts, uncles, pretty much your neighborhood surroundings that you interact with. That's Gemini. Short distance travel, like for example, say if you're going into your car and you're driving all the way to the store, which is like about a mile or two away, that's Gemini. But now say if you're getting in your car and driving to a different state, that is Sagittarius. But if you're a frequent flyer, well then there's your Gemini. But usually most of the time, if you're taking a long walk, that's Sagittarius. Short walk is Gemini. And usually, another thing too that Geminis are actually really good pretty much to have it as an excel point is that they're able to, again, adapt to any kind of situation. But if they adapt too quickly and they don't think all the way through, you can be like, okay, I'm ready to go, and then you just realize, oh, wait a minute, and then your mind's all over the place. But again, depends on what planet's in there, and that's pretty much the big variable. And pretty much that's really all I got for Gemini. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. But the next sign is Cancer, and then after that, Leo. Then yeah, we get the drift. But my Facebook page still isn't up yet. I'm still working at the fine detailing, but it'll be up shortly. And other than that, I also have a few videos that are, I'm still being in the process of editing too, that are going to be uploaded once I'm done with them. And then you'll start seeing, like out of nowhere, okay, we're going to be talking about what the sun is, we're going to be talking about what Black Moon is. Yes, she's a Graha, believe it or not. Moon, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, Rahu, Ketu, everybody from Hanky and Panky and Spanky. You'll start seeing them being uploaded to randomly, so keep your eyes peeled. And other than that, I'll talk to you guys in the next one.